Is it really time for the Yankees to sell already? Or are they still in this thing? As statement games go, the Yankees' 5-3 loss to Boston Friday was hardly the way to begin what everyone knows is a season-defining stretch against difficult opponents. If nothing good happens in the Yankees' 10-game homestand against the Red Sox, Orioles, and Giants, they're headed for uncharted territory, at least for them the realm of trade deadline sellers. But before you continue demanding that good players such as Aroldis, Chapman and Carlos Beltran be swapped for future hope, give the Yanks a little more time. At least until the end of this homestand. If the Yankees, who are now 44-45, are not 3 or 4 games better than .500 after the July 24 series finale against San Francisco, then it's time to deal, since they at a crucial time when they knew how important those games were. Until then, though, GM Brian Cashman and the Yankee Brain Trust should hold off on trading, if only because each chance to be in contention is precious. There are no guarantees in baseball and no team is assured of contending every season, regardless of whatever lessons you are misapplying from the Core Four Era Yankees. Some Yankee fans seem to think the regular season is just October's appetizer. Not so. Ask the Met fan who lives across the street whether each whack at contention is sacred. Joe Girardi and Cashman are well aware of what the Yanks are facing. The Yanks were 7-5 games out of first in the AL East entering Friday and 5 games behind in the wild card race. Is there urgency as the calendar pages flip? Of course there is, Girardi said. We've talked about it. We talk about it in here, the press conference room. We've talked about it with the group in there, the clubhouse. Of course there is, because you start to run out of days. Cashman admitted on MLB Network Radio Friday that he's doing due diligence, one of the GM's favorite phrases on both buying and selling, depending on what happens. And he said he understands that the owners and team president might look at things beyond baseball operations when considering trading at the August 1 deadline. We either springboard off what we did in Cleveland or we could hurt ourselves by stubbing our toe out of the gate in the second half, and, either way, that could give us some clarification on what we are, Cashman said. And my job, I'm having both conversations. That's part of my job and responsibilities, to be prepared if the worst case scenario happens. But also I've been trying to add, since May on, to areas that are of need. Ownership and baseball ops are all definitely in alignment in terms of what we're currently doing, Cashman added. We're not in the sell mode. There's not a trade that's about to break. We're waiting to see how we are over the next 2 weeks, and we're certainly looking to add if possible, but I'll also be prepared to deviate if directives are given that we should. It is true that this year's Yankees are uneven and haven't been very good at making it clear whether they're real contenders. The only thing they've shown much aptitude for, really, is being confusing, beating the rugged Cleveland Indians 3 out of 4 to go into the break, but still not inspiring much outside confidence, considering how poorly they rank in major categories such as runs, 11th in the American League, slugging, 14th, and ERA, 10th, to name a few. But they deserve the chance to show they are more than a break-even bunch buoyed by the pipe dream of the second wild card. So give it a few games here. Was Friday pretty? No. The Yanks fell behind, 5-0, as Michael Pineda got clouted for 3 home runs. Knuckleballer Steven Wright looked like one of life's great mysteries the way he pitched for 5 innings, but the Yankees scored 3 times against him in the 6th inning to turn the game competitive. At least they showed fight. And it's not like waiting a little while longer will wreck their potential trade market. Boston struck early for deals, yes, but the Sox and Yanks weren't going to be making trades, anyway. What might the Cubs be willing to part with for Chapman to help eradicate, finally, that damn curse of the Billy Goat? What could Beltran fetch from a contender in need of another bat? Girardi threw around the words consistent and consistency a lot when he was asked what the Yanks needed to prove themselves. Consistency is the word that's going to ring out loud here, he said, noting that the Yanks need it in the rotation, on offense, and from the lesser parts of the bullpen. So far, the sum of those parts mostly have shown the consistent ability to hover around 500. That's not good enough. But the Yanks should have at least this homestand to prove something before the current shape of the team has to change dramatically. Contention is precious.